Hello, hello. This is Ross. We're live. I just want to wait a couple seconds to make sure that the feed is okay. Make sure there's no problems with the feed. Um, and also for people can hear me right, hit that like button. Okay, subscribe. The Loan Modification Clinic. We're out here in Chicago. We help people throughout the whole U.S. So it doesn't matter if you're in New York, California, Chicago. It doesn't matter. The number to call 773-847-2200. 773-847-2200. I want to jump into what's going on with loan modifications, the past, the present, the future. Okay, people want to know what's going to happen, and I'm not a financial advisor, but I could tell you that we're looking at a crash. In my opinion, we're looking at a crash, and that crash is going to be bad. JP Morgan, they did a report and they said that this next crash that's coming is going to make the 1930s crash look like a little firecracker. I mean, this crash that's coming is going to be huge, and a lot of people that are very wealthy, and I'm talking about, generational wealth, those are the people that have to worry when this next crash comes, because they want to hold their position and they want to know where to put their money, okay? And when this crash comes, you're going to see people that have master's degrees. You're going to see people that are very educated that are going to end up in the street because they're not going to have a job. When you go to the grocery store, that's what's called hyperinflation. You're going to see the dollar. It's going to be like 1942 Germany when they kept printing money. They try to print their way out of a recession. So they're going to just keep printing more money to basically sustain that $22 trillion that we're in the hole. And we are in the hole for 22 trillion. So the subprime crisis from 2009, it wasn't really something that fixed itself. It was like a band-aid. The wound hasn't healed. Okay. So this crash that's coming, okay, and today's September 6, 2018. So this crash that's coming is going to be very bad. Okay. And we're going to see things that we've never seen before. We're going to see people that have like an education, a real high education, that thought they knew it all, end up losing their homes, losing their job, and they're basically going to be out there asking for $1,000 to go buy a loaf of bread or some crazy stuff like that. Like, we can't imagine what's going to happen because we've never been there. We've never seen this. Okay. And when JP Morgan comes out, when Chase Bank comes out and says, hey, this crash that's coming is going to be like, it's going to look like nothing compared to 1930. I mean, 1930, it's like, let's just say out of 100%, right? The 1930 crash is going to be like 5% compared to this next crash, which is going to be like 100%. So that means that like this crash is going to be bigger by 95% from the one from 1930. Okay. And because of that, we're going to go into a hyperinflation scenario, and the banks are going to have to lend more money. They're going to have to help people with loan modifications. They're going to have to sustain people's homes in a massive amount, in a very large amount. I'm talking about trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars that are going to get pumped into the system. Why? Because when you go to the grocery store and you want to go buy some steak, okay, a loaf of bread, some milk and butter, your steak is going to be $200. It's not going to be a $10 meal because of hyperinflation, because the more money that they print, the more it diminishes the purchasing power behind that dollar. And what makes the dollar? Well, what makes the dollar is our army, right? We spend trillions of dollars out there fighting these wars when we should be worried about these potholes that we have in the city, the infrastructure, the interest rates that are adjustable interest rates that go very high. And, people that are paying their homes are paying what's like paying a car. Like, having a home is not an asset. Having a home is a liability nowadays. So you have these adjustable interest rates that go from 2, 3, 7%. and your payment goes up. Then you got your taxes, your insurance. A lot of people can't deal with this. And that's why we're here. We've been doing loan modifications for over 7 years. Since the crash came, we've been studying the underwriting behind what makes a loan modification an approval to get you approved. We have clients in New York, California, Hurricane Harvey victims, and that's why it's important to give us a call. We do have a website, theloanmodificationclinic.com, but you could call us at 773-847-2200. Now, a lot of people are asking me, and they're like, well, if this crash comes, where are people going to put their money? And in my opinion, and I feel like, this is something that that is already happening, okay? So people are putting their money in digital currency, okay? And what is digital currency? Digital currency is what's called Bitcoin. It's blockchain technology. Blockchain technology. Now, this technology that's coming out, that it gets rid of banks. Okay, so basically, banks have to worry right now because now you don't have to go to the bank to take out your money. You could literally go through your phone. Okay, like right now, I'm at my house. I'm literally in my living room. Okay, I'm not at the office, and I'm bringing you a report from my home through my phone with the internet, letting people know that we're in the digital age and we have to educate ourselves. We have to do your research to find out how you can save yourself money. I've saved myself money in my own home. I've saved money for family and friends, and I've saved so many people's homes, clients, gas stations, laundromats, grocery stores that need to get modified. All these type of commercial and residential properties that are basically upside down. Why? Because property values have taken a dip and we haven't recovered. And because of that, we're busy at the office. We have teams, we have underwriters, we have people that are there to help you, to answer your call, to take that call, whether if it's Wells Fargo, Chase, Citibank, these other little mom and pop shops with like Ditech, Cooper's Loan, Aquin, Freedom Mortgage, just Face Servicing, just a whole bunch of these little companies that basically are carrying all the weight for the big whales, the JP Morgans, the Wells Fargos. Why? Because they don't want no lawsuits. They've already been investigated. Wells Fargo had to pay, millions of dollars for opening up fake accounts. Like, this stuff is real. I mean, it's happening. So digital currency is basically, it's a currency that you're able to bypass the bank. You can literally send money from anywhere around the world within seconds. And whoever you send the money to, they get that money instantly. So, because of that, banks will eventually be obsolete. You don't need a bank, okay? And Bitcoin started off at like not even a penny, okay? And because of that, it went to $1. Then it goes to $20. And that was back, in 2009 when it came up. 2009, 2010. There's these twins, if you guys want to research it, there's these twins called the Winklevoss twins. And these twins bought Bitcoin for like maybe 20 cents or $1. I mean, even if they bought it at $12, but they had something to do with Facebook, and they got a settlement from Facebook because they were part of, the co-founding of Facebook with Mark Zuckerberg. They went to the same school. I think they went to Harvard. And these twins invested their money into cryptocurrency, into Bitcoin, into blockchain technology. And now they're billionaires. And they became billionaires because you literally had Bitcoin go from 20 cents, right, or pennies, to right now it's at $6,400 for one Bitcoin, okay? And what does that do? Why is it so much money? Well, because first of all, there's a limited supply, so you can't buy any more of it. And when you mine the coin, so there's like rigs, like these computers that are just mining the coin, and they're getting more Bitcoin. right? So these computers are mining the coin, and it's harder to mine as the years go by. So every like 10 years or something like that, they cut the mining rewards in half. So it's harder to mine it. It's kind of like when you have a company and you're digging for gold. Like in the Wild Wild West, people went to the West, they went to California, they went, to Oregon, they went to go look for that gold. Remember that? The Oregon Trail back in the days, you could play that game on your Apple computer. Okay, so anyway, you can mine that coin, and when you mine that coin, you get rewarded with Bitcoin, and it's not one Bitcoin. They probably give you like it's divisible by 8 decimals. So one Bitcoin is 1 point. When you're mining this coin, um, uh, it's divisible by 8 decimals. So it's 1.000000000. Okay, 8 decimals, and just one like fraction of a fraction in the future is going to be worth thousands of dollars. Why? Because cash, first of all, there's so much cash in the system, like over $100 trillion in the system. There's only like 16 million Bitcoin. Okay, that's it. So there's not a lot of Bitcoin, and because of that, it's already considered digital gold. Now, as far as physical gold, the gold market, picture it as a bubble. So Bitcoin is like a little bubble of $150 billion market cap. Okay, so that market cap needs to overtake gold. Okay, when it overtakes gold, it's going to be worth, one Bitcoin is going to be worth like $500,000. Okay, now after it takes the gold market cap, then it's going to go for Wall Street Bitcoin, and once it goes for Wall Street, it's going to go for all the cash that's in the system, all the 401ks, all the CDs, all the savings account. Now, I could be wrong about this thing, but if I was wrong, it wouldn't have jumped up from literally from $1,000 to $6,500. And it sustained itself at that point. The lowest point that it was like 5,900, and it stayed that way. So when I talk about loan modifications, and I'm telling you that you need to save money on your home, I'm telling you that we need to find the best options to help you save money. And loan modification is the best option to lower your interest rate because, first of all, we don't charge you points when we help you. We don't charge you an interest rate because we're not a bank. So, when you go to a bank and you want to refinance your house, they charge you what's called a point, a yield spread premium. So instead of them charging you what they got the money from the Federal Reserve just printed the money and gave it to the banks. They don't give it to us, okay? They don't care. Like they give it to the big whales, the Wall Street, the JP Morgans, the Wells Fargo. They give it to them. Then they say, oh, you want to buy a house? Well, let me help you buy your house. We're going to charge you a 5% interest rate. We just checked your credit and you seem like a responsible person. So we're going to charge you a 5%, or a 6%. And your payment's going to be, $2,700, right? Taxes and insurance, everything's included, 27. But that's okay. You make 120, right? They clap you on the back. Don't worry about it. Everything's gonna be fine. Get that home, sign off on the deal. And at the closing, they might even give you a check for $500. Like you'll get this, you'll save a month. You won't have to pay the house for the next month. Okay, well, the bad thing about that is, guys, that when you do a loan modification, you don't get that 5%. You might even get a lower than a 4%, and it might be fixed. And I can't guarantee, right? But you might get even a 3% fixed for the life of the loan. I've seen people get a 2% for the life of the loan. I've seen people get principal forgiveness on their home where they send out an appraisal, okay? And they don't take your appraisal, by the way, because the senators, the governors, they wrote out new laws. So now we can't order an appraisal for you because they don't believe our word. They don't want our appraisal. They made a law that lets the banks go through a management company to order their own appraisals to supposedly give you the new value of your home. So let's just say you owe 200,000 on your home and your home is worth 150,000, okay? And we got it appraised. The house is worth 150. Well, the lender is saying that the house is worth 220. So who's wrong or right here? Well, we can't use our appraisal, but that's where we have to fight for you. And that's where the fight comes in, because we have to go off their appraisal. So those are the type of things that we have to look out for when we talk about loan modifications, because people need to get educated. That's why we're here. Give us a call, 773-847-2200. Another thing, very important, this Bitcoin. I want people to understand, and I want to give you an idea of what I was talking about. Picture a baby being born, okay? And that baby is like inside, the woman's stomach, okay? So the baby's just there. It hasn't even came out. Now, if that baby was like $12, when that baby comes out, that baby's worth $6,500. That's where we're at. But now the baby needs to eat. Now the baby's hungry. What do you think is going to happen in the next 6 months when all these other Wall Street greedy people start seeing Bitcoin go from 6,000 to 12 to 20 to 30? They're gonna want to come in, because they're not making money off the mortgages. They're not making money off your mortgage payments, because the rates are so low that they're just basically at this point saying, pay us whatever you can and you can live in your home. Now, most of these loans, they bought for pennies on the dollar anyway, so they don't even care if you lose the home or not. And that's why we're here. That's why loan modifications are important. And that's why digital currency is going to replace what's called fiat. The system we're in right now is a fiat currency. It's not based on a gold standard. There isn't anything attached to the dollar. The only thing that makes the dollar king is our army, our navy, our tanks. That's what makes us powerful as the leading country. And because the dollar's attached to the petro. So when people buy gold, when people buy oil, excuse me for that, when people buy oil, they have to change their currency to the dollar. So the dollar has power. But now we have China, we have Russia, we have all these other countries that understand the game. They know the rules of the game, and they're playing the game against us. That's why we have potholes. That's why our taxes keep going up, and they want to charge us for buying bags at the grocery store. That's why things are very difficult out here in the USA. And it doesn't matter if you're in Chicago, New York, California, because I go throughout the US and I see this. I see a $1 million mansion, and right across the street, I see a person that has no home, a bum literally living right there, a homeless person literally living right there in front of that house. And there is no help. And that's why modifications are important, because you have to get the lowest possible interest rate on your home. You have to do your research, guys, and understand that we're here and we're not going anywhere. We're going to get busier. We're busy right now. And if you're a farmer, if you own commercial property, multi-units, if you own residential property, it's very important for you to give us a call to get help. We do this throughout the whole US. So if you're watching this video and you need help with your home, give us a call. I hope the information that I gave you on digital currency, on Bitcoin, on how to lower the interest rate on your home, how we don't charge you on the interest rate, and how a loan modification is your best way on saving money. A lot of people that I helped were in their 60s and were upside down on their home. And when I talk to these people, they're out in Florida enjoying their vacation, their retirement. And that's how it should be. You shouldn't be in Walmart at 65 trying to pay your home, working a part-time job, because your Social Security income or your pension doesn't sustain your expenses at home. So I'm very thankful that you guys took the time to watch this video, and I'm sorry about the whole feed. Sometimes it's difficult to make the connection with YouTube. It goes on and off. So I hope hope that you guys stuck around to the end of the video so I could explain myself. And just another thing before we end is going back to what I was saying with the grocery store. Now, the reason that when you buy that steak or that loaf of bread, it's going to be like 50 times more is because when the crash comes, they're going to print more money to keep things going because they need the system to keep going. So as they print more money, the Federal Reserve, the dollar loses value. So all the cost of goods go up because those companies need to make a profit. All they want to do is make the same amount of money they did before because their investors need to get gains on their investment. Like, let's just say Kraft cheese. Kraft cheese, their investors need their profits, their dividends. So Kraft cheese is not going to be $5 or $4. Kraft cheese is going to be $12 because they want to stay where they were at. But unfortunately, with this next crash that comes, there's going to be companies that are going to go bankrupt. And at the end of the tunnel, because we're in a digital age and you stick around, you know, at the end of that tunnel, Bitcoin is not going to be 6,500 in my opinion. In my opinion, at the end of the tunnel, one of those Bitcoins is going to be $1 million. And there was another guy that did another report that said that one Bitcoin was going to be $100 million. So when I talk about interest rates, banks, loan modifications, and how that has to do, what does that have to do with Bitcoin, digital currency, right? And buying groceries or going to the gas station, it has everything to do with it because everything is correlated. Everything is related. And that's why we're here. We're here to help you with your mortgage, to help you lower the interest rate, save money every month, anywhere from $2,000 to $1,000 a month. And trust me, I've seen people get the principal reduction, even though, you know, most of those programs supposedly are gone. No, there's other programs and there's other mom and pop shops buying that hot potato because it's like a hot potato. They just keep tossing it around. So all these other companies that we didn't even know existed, they come out of the woodwork and then they say, oh, well, I own your home now. I have the note. And why do they have the note? They have the note because when you went to the closing, you signed a document that lets them transfer the loan to whoever they want. They could transfer it to ABC Corporation from India or ABC Corporation from China. So, you know, it's very hard to track where your loan could end up because you already signed that document. It's too late. And if you don't sign that document, you can't close on the home. They won't lend you the money. But just remember, guys, before I end this video, that money was created by the Federal Reserve, okay? An entity that was created in 1913, okay? And we don't know who are these people. We can't just go in there and say, hey, I want to see your books. I want to know what's going on. I want to know how much debt. Yeah, we have a debt clock, but we don't know what's going on. We're not educated. And I could tell you everything about loan modifications, but I never worked for the Fed. So I don't know what's going on, right? And that's the system that we're in. And it's based on failure. It eventually, that system can only last 60 years. And when President Nixon came in, he took us off the gold standard. So at the end of the day, time's running up. And I was waiting for the stock market crash, for this crash in 2017. And I said, well, it has to happen in the summer, but we're already going into September. So, you know, it's bound to happen. And this crash is going to be ugly. You're going to have people that are very educated end up asking for change in the street. People that thought they were smart and they were trying to give you guidance, they're going to be asking you for thousands of dollars because they need to go buy a loaf of bread. I mean, look at Zimbabwe. They have $1 million notes because they went into hyperinflation. So, you know, get educated, do your research. If you need help with your home, give us a call, 773-847-2200. We do have a toll-free number as well, 844-426-7457. This is Ross Garcia. Thanks for your time, and I wanted to bring you that information, that report, so you guys can understand that loan modifications, it is the key to save yourself money every single month. Have a good one, guys.